Hi, we're going to be using the WayLiner today to show you how you can make an encased elastic waistband with an added drawstring. So the first thing I've done is I've got my two waistband pieces and I've interfaced them, and then I'm going to lay them out and mark out where I want to have the buttonholes for my drawstring. So I'm going to fold them in half and find the centre and then pop a clip. There we go. So that's going to be the centre of my waistband at the front. And then if we open that back up again, I'm going to mark now where I'd like my buttonholes to be. So this is about the size of the buttonhole that I need for my drawstring to go through. Now, bearing in mind some of that's going to be seam allowance, so the distance there that I've marked out with my fingers is going to be the visible waistband. So I'm going to make a mark in the middle of that, and then one over on the other side. Try and get it straighter. There we go. So those are going to be my two buttonholes, and you can see they should just about fit the drawstring I'm going to use. So there we go, I've put my two buttonholes on and opened them up, ready for the drawstring to be put on later. And then the next thing I need to do is sew my two waistbands together. There we go, and then I've pressed the seams flat. So I'm using 1.5 inch elastic here, and then you can see as you fold the waistband over it, I've got my seam allowance, which is going to be about 12mm plus a little bit extra, and so my buttonholes are right in the centre of where my elastic is. So the next thing you're going to do is take your piece of elastic and overlap the two ends and sew them together. So I've just used a wide, short zigzag stitch. There we go. Just check it's going to stretch enough to fit your waistband. And then this is the WayLiner. So I'm going to take the waistband over the top two blue rollers, and then make sure it also goes down and passes underneath the two silver rollers at the bottom, like that, so that it will roll cleanly. There we go. And then you're going to take your elastic and you're going to slide it over the top. And what this is now doing is it is evenly distributing the excess all the way around. So it's stretching the elastic for you so that you haven't got to do it yourself. The problem with this kind of thing is you feel like you need about 25 hands all holding different bits so that you can stretch the elastic as you sew, but the WayLiner does it for you, which is really handy. So now I'm going to slide my machine in, pop the fabric with the elastic enclosed inside underneath, and then bring my foot down. And you can feel where the elastic is, and I'm just sewing slightly to the right of the elastic. So I've got a little bit of wiggle room. I'm going to do a basting stitch here just to base the whole thing together. And then you don't need to pull the fabric. So I push the waistband down to flatten it out as it goes over the needle plate. But the feed dogs of the machine is what's going to be pulling the fabric around for you. So you don't need to pull it. The machine does it at its own rate. The rollers just help it roll around. So I've got another angle for you here so you can see what I'm doing. So I push the fabric down as it comes towards the needle plate. Just make sure it's staying in line. And then, like I say, my hands here aren't pulling the fabric forward. The machine's doing that. All I'm doing is keeping it flat. So there we go. That's our elastic now encased inside the waistband. And what I want to make now is a channel for the drawstring to go through. So I'm just going to move that around a little bit and re-sight myself just underneath the bottom of the buttonhole. And then I'm going to sew around again. And not only does this create a nice channel for the drawstring to go through, but it also helps to stop the poofiness of the waistband, if that makes sense. Sometimes when you're using elastic in a waistband, which is quite a bit bigger, these are quite big kind of palazzo harem pants, the waistband can look kind of poofy once the elastic draws it in, and the top stitching around through the waistband over the elastic helps to stop that. It makes it look a lot nicer. So I've done one row underneath the buttonhole and one row over the top of the buttonhole, and now I've got a nice casing that I can use to put my drawstring through. So this is now my trousers. I'm going to place them right sides down on top of the waistband, and I'm going to line up my side seam. Now obviously you have to make sure you've got this aligned, so the front of your trousers is going to be in place with the buttonholes on the waistband. But I'm just lining up my side seams here and popping a clip just to hold it in place. There we go, and then you're going to sew round. So I'm just coming back down now on the final little bit just to attach the trousers to the waistband. There we go, and then you can take those off. Be careful, they do ping back. Lovely, and now you can see my waistband has been attached to my trousers. So that's the right side and the wrong side. So now we just need to finish off that seam allowance, whichever is your preferred method. I'm going to use my overlocker, and I'm going to put it back on the WayLiner to go back around again on the overlocker. There we go. So bring my foot down. I always do my first few rotations with the hand wheel. And then I've used the WayLiner again just to stretch the waistband out. And then just going back around to finish the edges with the overlocker. And this is what it looks like when it's done. Like I say, the top stitching there really does give a nice clean finish on the waistband. And then those are the two buttonholes. And I just need to get my drawstring and go in one side all the way around and back out on the other. So safety pin or a bodkin, whichever you want to use. There we go. And you just have to feed it through using the safety pin or the bodkin through the channel. Lovely. And the wonders of modern technology, I'm just coming around the other side. There we go. Take the safety pin off. And then just even out the casing. And draw a nice little bow. Lovely, so it just goes to show the WayLiner is designed to help you. It's a tool. So when you're getting frustrated, if you find it's difficult to hold all those different layers together, it just helps you, takes a lot of the effort out. There we go, bye.